Starting at forward, a 6'7" freshman from Vallejo, California, number 30, Desmond Simmons. Starting at center, a 7-foot junior from Dakar, Senegal, number 5, Aziz Njai. The 3 guards for Washington, first a 6'3" junior from Tacoma, number 0, Abdul Gani. Also at guard, a 6'5" freshman from Seattle, number 14, Tony Rumpton. Completing the starting 5 at guard, a 6'6" sophomore from Portland, Oregon, number 31, Terrence Ross. The 6th starter for the Huskies from Romarville, USA, the Dog Pack. The Huskies are coached by Lorenzo Romar, assisted by Rafael Chelius, Paul Fortier, and Jim Shaw. Ladies and gentlemen, your Washington Huskies.
From Alaska Airlines Arena in Seattle, along with Lenny Wilkins, Kevin Calabro on hand, Washington and Stanford. Stanford on the road, and the tip is won by the Stanford Cardinal, who come into this game 5-2 in the Pac-12, 1-2 on the road, off a loss a few nights ago in Pullman, Washington to Washington State. Stanford basketball, and inside immediately, Josh Owens goes to work. Owens, the senior from Georgia, averaging 13 a game, leads Stanford in scoring, Lenny, and he continues with a hot hand, picking up where he left off, 8 for 8 against Washington State.
The young man has great footwork. You saw there, Njai was guarding him, and he made an inside pivot, went right by him to the basket, and of course Njai comes back on the other end, and he shows how he is improved around the basket, turning in and making a nice little shot.
Here's a flip outside early from Chasen Randall, and the rebound is recovered by Terrence Ross. Ross, Abdul Gani, 2-man play, the lob off glass, deflected away, and a nice hustle play by Simmons, who goes to the floor. Njai goes to the floor, saves it to Gani, 20 to shoot, and Ross will fire a 3. And the rebound controlled by Stanford.
Well, I think that's the pace that UW has got to play at, Kevin. They got to play a little bit of an up-tempo game, because that's when they're at their best. They'll be scrambling for loose balls, getting block shots, helping one another.
That is Dwight Powell, who was upended on the foul to Desmond Simmons. Powell is joined out there by Josh Owens up front, along with Jared Mann, a senior from Middleton, Delaware, Chasen Randall, and Aaron Bright. Aaron Bright, of course, from Bellevue, Washington. The starting 5 for Stanford, and Johnny Dawkins. Starting for Lorenzo Romar's Washington Huskies, Abdul Gani, Tony Roten, Terrence Ross, Aziz Njai, and Desmond Simmons. Still out of this game is C.J. Wilcox, out with a stress fracture of the left hip. You will see him dressed, but more than likely will not play tonight. Powell hits 1 of 2 free throws, 3-2, Cardinal out on top of the Washington Huskies, who come into this afternoon's play here in Seattle, 4-2 in conference. coming off a loss to California. Ross drives into the lane, turned it over, and the turnover will give it back to Stanford.
Yeah, and that's too bad because you want to see Ross get going early, and it looked like he was determined to make a move to the basket. So really a pretty good move, except that a little bit of a carry. Referee was right on top of it.
Aaron Bright, very familiar to the Washington Huskies, works out against a number of them in the offseason. This is the inside play of Owens on the drop step over the massive Aziz Ndiaye. Recovered by Ross. Here is Gaddy, open floor, drives into the lane on the smaller Bright and is fouled. And I like what I'm seeing from the Huskies here early, Lenny. They're making a conscientious effort to get to the rim.
Yeah, and already, like you said, look at Gaddy. Right here, he made his mind up. He had the seam, and he took it, and he's very good at that. So I like the fact, like you, Kevin, they seem to be a little bit more alert, a little bit more up-tempo, you know, and they want to establish the tempo of this game, and I think that's smart.
Gaddy from Bellarmine High School in Tacoma, Washington, 6'3" junior. Gives the Huskies a lead.
Also, you got to like the idea that Gaddy, right at half court, he's meeting the offensive player. He's ready to stay up, put a little bit of pressure, make them start their offense a little further out. And that's always good. That's always good because then mistakes can happen.
Well, his pressure on Bright will really lend to the defensive attitude that this team takes. Bright, obviously the point guard, they run everything through him. He's having a terrific year, coming off a poor shooting effort against Washington State. He'll drive and kick on the wing and trying to slant in as Owens. Nice power move to the rim. He lays it in, Josh Owens.
Yeah, Josh has no fear. You know, even though Ndiaye is a little bit taller, Josh is going to take it to the basket. And now Gaddy is doing what we talk about. You know, put the ball down. When you got a seam, take it to the basket. He usually finishes very well.
Bright circles off the screen, hanging, running right-hander is up and in. So Bright gets the screen at the elbow, Lenny, and sends a high one off the window.
Well, that's smart on his part to use the glass because they can't block that kind of a shot once it's on the board.
Ross off the pin down and curls into the lane. Switch to the offhand, wouldn't go. Powell with the rebound. But again, the Huskies with an attempt in the paint.
Well, you got to like that when they start to get inside rather than settle for the outside shots. Great hands by Roten, and now that's something that he does very well. If he gets out in the open court, he's going to finish and give them credit because right now they fouled him. They're going to make him go to the free throw line, make him prove it right here. Good hands, gets the ball, control, take it to the basket. Now he's at the line. And, you know, I had a chance to talk with him, and he said he's working hard at his free throws.
Shooting 55% from the line this year, but 137 attempts. He is first on this ball club in free throw attempts. Good form there, and he knocks it down. The foul was on Jared Mann. He was making a play on the ball. Desmond Simmons will go to the bench, and Darnell Gant will step in.
Well, when you see Roten at the line there, you know, he's got great focus right there. You know, he seems to get himself ready. And, you know, most of the time, if he does that, I think he's going to get a nice rhythm and start to make his free throws.
Score tied at 7, and Aaron Bright across midcourt. Washington opens up in a man defense on Stanford. They played zone predominantly against Cal in Thursday night's loss. Here's Owens again on the post. Nice drop step. And sealing off for the rebound was Gant. This is Roten ahead to Ndiaye, over the shoulder grab. Nice cut by Roten to the rim for the finger roll, up and in.
You got to like that. And you know, Ndiaye, he's got to run the full court. Don't slow down because Roten will give it to you if he's open.
Right the other way, guides a three up there. That's an air ball out of bounds.
Take a look at this last play coming down the court right here. They're working real hard now. The seam is open, the middle is open. Roten takes advantage of it and he goes to the basket. He goes strong. And you got to like that because most of the time he's going to be able to finish because he goes with such power.
Ndiaye, the 7-footer from Senegal, in the corner to Ross. 26 to shoot. Roten wants a play. He'll bring Gant out high. Ross to the corner. And Njai in the paint. Njai off balance, missed it wildly. And in pursuit of the rebound on the weak side, it's Gant coming over the top for the foul and a timeout on the court. And we welcome you to Seattle, Washington here at Alaska Airlines Arena, along with the Hall of Famer Lenny Wilkens, Kevin Calabro on hand. Washington opens up a 2-point lead on Stanford, 9-7. Stanford comes into this game 5-2 in the Pac-12, 4-0 at home. California, of course, beat Seattle in this building on Thursday night to go to 6-1. Oregon, 6-2 at home. Big game against UCLA. They come away with the win. Oregon 6-2, and so Stanford at 5-2, Arizona 4-2, Washington at 4-2, and Washington next weekend will be at Arizona. As we are at the midway point of the Pac-12 schedule, things become interesting as the field now starts to shake out a little bit. This is a very crucial game for Washington, Lenny, in light of that loss Thursday night here at home. They don't have the opportunity to go back down to the Bay Area and play Cal and play Stanford. Stanford, on the other hand, of course, in Thursday's loss to Washington State, they relinquished a 13-point lead midway through the second half of play. Faisal Aiden hit him with 33 points. Cougars just outmatched him in the second half. This is an important one for Stanford because in 8 days, they're at home, or actually go across the bay to play at Cal.
Yeah, it's an important game for actually both teams. The Huskies right now, they need to come out and get this game. If they lose, then they drop down a little bit further. So Stanford, they want to stay up around the top. And with Oregon winning today, that makes it really important for both teams to come out and play real hard. So, yeah, Washington needs this win. I like the way they started the game. They've come out, they're looking to score, they're looking to penetrate. They're not settling for outside shots. And that means they're going to get to the line a little bit more. What they have to do now is make their free throws.
In fact, Washington's only attempted the 1-3, and they've had 4 attempts in the paint so far to take the 2-point lead on Stanford. Terrence Ross, 15 points per ball game, was the player of the week last week in the Pac-12. Against Cal, had his difficulties in the first half. You can see in their 11 wins, the average is 15 points. The difference in the wins to losses, the free throw attempts by Ross. In the 7 losses, 9 free throw attempts by Ross. Here is Powell forcing up a shot over Gant and throws it out of bounds. Washington will take it.
Great defense by Gant. He didn't reach for the ball. What he did was he held his position, and he made the man have to shoot over him. So I like that. I like the Huskies' mindset right now. I think they're playing smart basketball. They're looking. They're going to look inside. They're going to swing it. And right now, right here, Roten on the inside. They know how tough it is. Oh, hey, great look. Just Njai could not handle that pass.
Roten getting in between a double team down there. In fact, during the timeout, Johnny Dawkins has sent Anthony Brown, 6'6" sophomore from Huntington Beach, out there to guard Roten.
Yeah, anytime you pass to a big man, 7 foot round the basket, you can't pass it down to his knees. You got to put it up around the rim so that he can go get it. So Njai kind of signaled that to Roten, next time put the ball up high, which is smart.
Josh Eustace, the 6'7" sophomore from Great Falls, Montana, has come in now for Powell. Reset of the shot clock, and the Huskies go to work. Abdel Ghani to Ross, fading off the screen for 3. Off the back rim, and the rebound corralled by Njai in traffic. Pop free, he keeps it alive to Ghani, to the glass, shovels it up and in under Eustace.
I like that move by Ghani. I mean, I think great tip by Njai. He could not control the rebound. He tips it out. Ghani takes it very wisely. Went to the hoop right away.
He's off to a good start with a half dozen for the Washington Huskies. Here is Mann, who has started now in 7 games. They're 5-1 in his previous starts. Rejection by Njai outside on the offering from Owens, leading to a Husky possession.
Now that was great help defense by the Huskies, and now they're moving the ball around. Good look right there. That shot's going to go down if he keeps getting that look at the basket.
Gant, of course, coming off the 0 for 9 shooting effort against Cal on Thursday, 0 for 6 from 3, including a shot at the buzzer that would have tied the game.
Well, we talk about the Huskies being aggressive right here. Njai The ball gets tipped. He tips it out. Gaddy makes a great move to the basket. And you know, Kevin, last game we talked about Gaddy also, as well as coming out, being aggressive, looking to get to the seams, because he is one of the better guys at finishing on penetration.
Fallon Gant sends Jared Mann to the free throw line. Simmons will come in to get Roten now with 6 minutes gone by here in the first half. And the Huskies leading by 3. Mann is one of the few seniors on this club. This is a predominantly sophomore group. We get a look now at Austin Safarian-Jenkins stepping into the lineup. The 6'6" freshman who starred for Steve Sarkisian's football team.
Well, you know, the thing about this guy is he plays with a lot of poise. I've watched him practice. He's been in big-time games because he plays on a football team. He brings some strength, some physicalness to the game. And if he gets the ball on a low block, he's going to turn. He's going to make a strong turn into the basket.
Averaged 17 points and 9 rebounds for his high school team a year ago. He can get it done. Just a matter of conditioning. Here is Ross. Simmons, 8 to shoot. Goes to work, whirling in, makes contact, plays off the contact and rolls it in.
Well, you like to see that because, you know, Simmons is such an unselfish player, and he made a nice, strong move, gave a little spin in the lane and turned and banked it right in.
Eustace fighting inside, rolls it up and in. Eustace, a very handy man off the bench for Johnny Dawkins, averaging 6 points and 5 rebounds.
He makes his presence felt. Anytime he comes in, he's very patient, but he will get putbacks and he'll play good defense.
Simmons gets position inside, but they didn't see him. Will clear out, allowing Gaddy some space to roll to the hole. Nice follow by Gant up and in. Darnell Gant.
That's the kind of play that'll get Gant going, Kevin. I tell you, I like it. I like his whole attitude. He's coming out, he's really playing hard, he's going after it, and he's going to get some putbacks.
Huskies by 4, 12:48 to play here in the first half. Mann goes to work. Staggered screen, head of the key, mishandles the ball, 18 to shoot. They look for Owens inside, fronted by Safarian-Jenkins. There's a charge. Driving into the body was Anthony Brown, his first.
Well, the Huskies have got their mindset that they're going to really play hard. Right here, you see Simmons makes his move in. He spins, turns, and still has control. So, you know, this is good. Gant's going to get a putback right there. What a great putback. And I'll tell you, you know, gets back on defense, and then the Huskies get a charge. So this is really the way you want to see the Huskies play. They've got to come out and establish themselves early. John
Gage, 6'9" sophomore from Vashon Island, fronts Austin Safarian-Jenkins. A couple of Washington products. And Stanford now in a zone, matching up out of the zone with Roten, 12 to shoot, in a quandary for 3. That is short. Digging for the rebound is Mann. Here comes Stanford, has a man ahead, it's Brown. Safarian-Jenkins closing on it quickly. Outside of Randall. Shows and goes, misses the mid-range. Here's Roten, Desmond Simmons and Gaddy ahead. He'll go to Safarian-Jenkins, who saves it back to Roten, to the glass. The flip is blocked. Gage had it. Pop free, recovers, and Stanford now will bring it up.
I tell you, the intensity in this game is already 5 times that of the last game they played, and you like that. The crowd's in it early, and right here, their defense has been good. And I like the fact that the Huskies are playing man-to-man because they seem to be able to give good help and get back. Right there, great help by the young player.
2 defenders on Anthony Brown, and a foul on Brown trying to get it back. It's his second with 11:29 to go in the first half. Austin Safarian-Jenkins in the house, and the Huskies lead by 4. Francis, thank you very much. 3 players for the Huskies played better than 36 minutes on Thursday night against Cal. Emotionally, a very draining game, says Lorenzo Romar. Johnny Dawkins Ball Club will use their bench liberally. He likes to play 10, sometimes 11 guys in a game. Gaddy turns the ball over. So in a sense, Lenny, it could be a war of attrition here. Both teams losing emotional games on Thursday. Stanford, of course, squandering a lead. Washington really emotionally never in that game in the first half and really battling to get back into it in the second half and falling 3 points short. Yeah, that takes a lot out of you, too, especially, you know, you work that hard and then they got back to 2, but it was too much time left, and every time they got back, Cal made a big shot. So
So it is emotionally draining for both teams, but both teams know the importance of this game. And now that takes a lot of emotion as well. That's going to be draining on both teams. So the bench is going to be real important for both teams. Guys have got to come off the bench, hold their own, or be very productive.
And Safarian Jenkins did a nice job to give Njai a quick blow on the inbounds. Njai got a piece, knocked it down. It's recovered by Ross. Lead pass in the front court to Roten. Covered by Gage, one-on-one. Roten likes that to go right at the big man, and he is fouled and roll off the mark. He'll shoot two.
I don't know if the teams are not aware that Roten's left-handed or what, but he sets them up and he gets into that middle right there. And when he gets in there, he has a great opportunity, and the guy is so quick and he can move the ball around, so he's going to get great opportunities at the basket.
Well, of course, there's a great deal of familiarity between the two teams. Gage, of course, from Vashon Island, Washington State, won a Player of the Year, and his team winning a state championship his junior year. Tony Roten, of course, from Garfield High School, right here in Seattle. Roten hit the first, missed the second, digging for the rebound. Look at them get after it. Simmons pulls it free and lays it in. Tremendous hustle play by Simmons.
Simmons has been doing that all year long. I mean, he's really had an impact when he's in there, and he stays after it. That's a great putback.
Well, the bigs are playing extremely well. Njai coming off a double-double effort. This is Eustace forced outside to handle, and coming to double team is Gaddy. Got a piece. Not before he got rid of it to Gage. Erased and spiked out of bounds by Njai.
I tell you, that's great help by everybody. And, you know, right now, all these guys seem alert. Right here, you're going to see Simmons. Listen, he hustles. He's in there reaching, grabbing. He gets the ball and makes a great play underneath. And now they get back and they come down the court. Njai comes over, gives his teammates some help. So that's the kind of Husky defense we want to see, where guys are helping one another, talking on defense, not afraid to make good switches.
Chase and Randall will bring the ball inbounds for Stanford with 10 to shoot in front of the Husky bench. Cal several times on Thursday burned the Huskies on inbounds plays, primarily because they forgot who was bringing the ball inbounds. Gutierrez a number of times, Jorge Gutierrez a number of times would bring the ball inbounds only to get it back unchecked. Now they've got to keep an eye on the man putting the ball in play from out of bounds. Randall's a good scorer, 12 a game.
Right, the guy who's taking the ball, you know, out of bounds, and the referees are checking the time right here, the shot gets blocked, it's out of bounds, and so they want to look to see how much time is on the clock. But you're right, underneath, the man covering the guy taking the ball out under the basket has to influence the ball to go out to the side or over the top. You never let a pass come in under the basket.
And you can see they defended the last inbounds play on the baseline beautifully. Njai getting a piece of that, deflecting the ball free and forcing a turnover. Now Randall's coming back to the bench. Johnny Dawkins will send him back to the bench, and Garrett Mann, the senior, will bring it in, and they'll put 16 on the shot clock. Owens will get it out on top. Aaron Bright will take over. Bright had a tough time shooting on Thursday night in the loss on the road in Pullman. He was 2 for 12. 6 to shoot. Here's the drive and kick, and Eustace with the jumper. And on the weak side, the rebound grabbed by Stanford. They'll reset, and Mann early on the clock will lift up a three and miss it. And a loose ball foul called on the weak side on Stanford's big man, Stefan Nastic.
Well, I tell you, it's always tough to rebound out of a zone, but right here, the Huskies are blocking. They come over the top, get the foul. Now the Huskies come down court. They're in control, and now ball movement is going to be real important.
Roten flashes to the ball, gets open, contact made, no whistle. Nastic with a rebound.
I think he was expecting a foul that time, Kevin, and they should have just went straight up, and he would have had an easy opportunity at the basket, but still he had great position there.
Aaron Bright with a step, sets up Nastic, blocked from behind by Njai. It's loose. Eustace comes up with it. They force it outside. Aaron Bright will control on the screen from Owens. Owens will roll, drop steps to the rim and laid it in.
Owens has got such great footwork around the basket. I mean, he makes it look easy, and I'll tell you, a good pass, good footwork, that allowed him to score inside.
All Pac-10 honorable mention a year ago. There's Owens, he's 3 for 6. This is Njai inside, and coming from behind was Nastic to get a piece of it, and a foul call.
I tell you, something Njai didn't do last year, and he's doing more and more now. He takes strong positions on the low block, and when he shoots, he follows the shot. He follows up, so he's getting a lot of putbacks now. That's a huge improvement in his game.
Lenny, he's still learning. I mean, 6 years ago, he was in Senegal, and they were using rolled-up tape as a basketball, literally. And, of course, it was at Southern Idaho. He had a knee operation a year and a half or so ago. The big fella's come a long way, coming off a double-double against Cal, 14 points and 12 rebounds.
He really has, Kevin. You got to take your hat off to him because, you know, the coaches, they get him to come in and work early, stay late, and he's willing to do it because he wants to improve. So he's had a huge impact on the team this year, and I think that by the end of the year, he'll have even a greater impact on his club.
Njai knocks down the second free throw, and the Huskies lead here by 6. Darnell Gant back in the lineup. Now, Gant has 2 fouls. Huskies go back to the zone. They opened with man and really got into the game, as Lenny has told you, inside its own. But you have to be concerned with attrition. And the length of Romar's bench is short, so he wants to conserve his fouls in that zone. And with Njai rebounding like that, Lenny, that's a pretty good strategy.
Well, it really is. And the big thing with the zone defense is that it saves people, but also it helps you to keep people in front of you and takes away penetration. So right there, a little too much dribbling by Gaddy, but that's okay. Get back, play defense, and let's make it tough for them to score.
Third turnover on the Huskies. Bright with a driving kick on the wing. This is man looking in deep. Owens goes to work. There's that spin on the drop step. Missed it. Nice follow by Owens off the mark. Njai wrestles it away.
He's having a heck of a game on the boards, Njai. The big guy just goes after it every time. Good look, penetration right there. Okay, not a bad move. Pretty good move to the basket.
Eustace with a rebound, and Stanford the other way. Andrew Zimmerman in the lineup, 6'8" senior from Oostburg, Wisconsin.
The Huskies are back to man right now, and that's good. I think you got to give them some different looks, change up, but keep people in front of you. You can't allow guys to penetrate and beat you off the dribble.
Eustace, the long jump shot and a long rebound garnered by the Huskies. With Gaddy, Ross, Gant, Njai, and Simmons on the floor. Gaddy head down, shoulder leaning on the drive. Tripped up, threw it away, turnover. Stanford the other way, but Njai sprints down the floor to get into the play. Bright will pull up and miss. Long rebound right to Bright. He'll reload and miss, and Gaddy comes down with a rebound. You can see the outcome of Njai just running the floor. His presence, Bright unable to run to the glass. He had to pull up and shoot the jump shot.
He's making a huge difference, you know, out there because he's keeping that ball alive. They're really going to have to focus in on keeping him off the boards. And so mistakes will happen. It's the Huskies ball right now. And timeout by Coach Romar. He said, all right, let's talk about this right now.
Washington off to a good start. Definitely the more aggressive of the two teams. As a result, they lead by 6 as we go to break in Seattle. To the high 40s. A lot of slush in the area. Folks are starting to get out, move around. And a well-attended game here this afternoon in Seattle as the Washington Huskies trying to bounce back from a Thursday loss here at home to Cal. And they've gotten some help in the strong arms of Austin Safarian-Jenkins, the 6'6" freshman from Gig Harbor, tight end for Steve Sarkisian's football team, getting his second stint here in the first half. Lenny, Washington has scored 14 of their 19 points in the paint.
Yeah, and you know, that's really great. I mean, they got off to a good start. They're going inside. It shows you the mentality is that they're not going to settle for the outside shot. So they're very patient in moving the ball and looking for either post-up or penetration and getting putbacks as well.
Zimmerman covering Roten, who spins inside, goes to the body and laid it home with the left hand. And again, Romar putting Roten in the paint against the zone, and he gets a mismatch there.
Yeah, and Zimmerman can't guard Roten. He's too quick. He's too quick. So smart play by Coach Romar. Drop the point guard down into the lane. And look at the aggressive defense they come out with. So, you know, Austin Severian, he's making his presence felt out there, you know.
Wow.
I mean, big, wide guy, you're not going to get around him.
No, those 50-50 balls to the sideline, you want nothing to do with him. Zimmerman stepped out of the way. You could see the truck coming. 8-point lead now for the Huskies. 5:53 to go first half. Ross, high post left side, ISO to Roten. Jabbing on Bright. Drives inside and muscles it home before Zimmerman could get there to help.
You see that play there, Kevin? I like to see Ross get a play like that, where he's on the side and isolate him right off of the low lane, and then he can turn into the basket. Roten makes it look easy.
10-2, Husky run. Zimmerman in the middle of the zone. Try to drop it low to Owens. Deflected Powell. Good hustle play. Chasen Randall has been quiet, averaging 12 a game. And Aaron Bright can't buy one. Ball tipped outside and recovered by Stanford. 33 to shoot, and they let a three fly. That's not like the Cardinal. Zimmerman with a rebound. He is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
We talk about the zone defense, and if you play zone against the Huskies, you're going to see where they're going to get the player down off the lane right here. Roten's just too quick, way too quick, and Bright's going to have a tough time because Bright gives away 3-4 inches.
Stanford shooting 19% for the ball game. Zimmerman at the line. This is a ball club that averages 73 points a game, 45% from the field, a 66% free throw shooting team are the Stanford Cardinals, and they dominate their opponents on the glass, 37-30 on average through the course of the year. And Lenny, this is a team that is usually disciplined, but against Washington State, they were really out of character. Talking to the Stanford folks, they attempted 31 three-point shots in that game.
Yeah, and what happens is that they're doing what the Huskies are doing. They're taking away their up-tempo game, so they're not getting good looks. If you keep people in front of you, make them have to make tough shots over you, that puts Bright at a disadvantage because he's not that big.
Ross, nice spin move, but standing straight up to get the block was Josh Owens. Make it Powell with a block. Now here's Powell the other way to get it. Fading, air ball deflected. Safarian Jenkins of Washington with a rebound.
The fans like that. Let the big guy get a big rebound for them. Come back down the other end. Let's see if we can make it pay.
Safarian Jenkins has come off the bench for 3 rebounds, giving Njai a breather. 4:25 to play in the first half. Roten down the left side of the lane, squeezes between a double team. Zimmerman hauls Safarian Jenkins down. Loose ball scramble, tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Stanford. These two big fellas, Zimmerman and Safarian Jenkins, really battling inside. Don't watch the ball. Watch the action off the ball if you're viewing at home.
And, you know, the Huskies have got to show a little bit of patience right now. If the up-tempo game's not there, go inside. You know, don't be in a hurry to put up a quick shot.
Nastich now will come in for Zimmerman. Here's the ball deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Stanford off the fingertips over there of Josh Owens.
I like that the Huskies are keeping the pressure on Stanford. They're not giving them any easy looks at the basket. They're making them earn everything they get.
Ross now, one-on-one and Owens to the end line where he draws the double. This is Safarian Jenkins. Good shooting touch. And on the weak side, it was Stanford coming over the top. Josh Owens with the foul, giving the Huskies possession when we come back with 3:58 left in the first half from Seattle. Angie, thank you very much. The Stanford Cardinal having difficulties, Lenny, scoring the basketball. Their last field goal at the 9:08 mark here of this first half, and they have seen Washington go to work in the paint with 18 points scored in the paint by Washington. Now Stanford's offense, they've been outscored 65-32 in the last 29 minutes of game time. The second half against Washington State, they had an 11-point lead with 13:30 left in the game. Cougs go on a 24-5 run and shoot 72% in the second half against this Cardinal club.
Well, you know that's going to play on their mind, Kevin, and no question about it. The players think about it. The coach thinks about it. And in this game, because the Huskies' defense is so good, there's 17%. You know, that's unbelievable. And the putback. So right now, they're searching. They're trying to find a way that they can break this.
Chasen Randall hasn't scored a point. He averages 12 a game, and Aaron Bright's having difficulty, 1 of 5 from the field. And the Cardinal go right back into the paint, and this is Powell attacking the rim. The sophomore from Toronto, Canada, going right to the rim to lay it in, and will go to the line.
Well, that's the first time that Stanford sliced the guy through on the zone. And when right here, he comes in, the zone reacts, but he turns and goes right to the basket. So good move. Now, have they discovered something? We'll see.
Austin Safarian-Jenkins with his third foul, and this is Powell going to the line. Powell, the sophomore, Pac-10 all-freshman team last year. He's been hampered by an ankle at the beginning of the year, but you can see he's a fine-looking player. Long, lanky, runs the floor extremely well, very aggressive. He'll match up on Ross on the perimeter now. Gaddy with 23 to shoot, trying to break down Chasen Randall. Nice pass in the corner. This is Ross missing from three. Nastich deflects it out of bounds, and it will be Husky basketball.
And that's something that the Huskies can't allow to happen. Right there, they're all looking at one another like what was called. And those are the kind of things you don't want to happen in a game. So right there, they got to get their act together because they got control of this game, and they need to take advantage of it.
And they're doing it with Ross 0 for 6. This is Roten driving into the lane and lays it home. And they are doing it because they are going to the body, and they are going to the rim.
Yeah.
Angie, thank you very much. The Stanford Cardinal having difficulties, Lenny, scoring the basketball. Their last field goal at the 9:08 mark here of this first half. And they have seen Washington go to work in the paint with 18 points scored in the paint by Washington. Now, Stanford's offense, they've been outscored 65-32 in the last 29 minutes of game time. The second half against Washington State, they had an 11-point lead with 13:30 left in the game. Cougs go on a 24-5 run and shoot 72% in the second half against this Cardinal club.
Well, you know that's going to play on their mind, Kevin, and no question about it. The players think about it, the coach thinks about it, and in this game, because the Huskies' defense is so good, there's 17%. You know, that's unbelievable. And the putback. So right now, they're searching. They're trying to find a way that they can break this.
Chasen Randall hasn't scored a point. He averages 12 a game, and Aaron Bright's having difficulty, 1 of 5 from the field. And the Cardinal go right back into the paint, and this is Powell attacking the rim. The sophomore from Toronto, Canada, going right to the rim to lay it in, and will go to the line.
Well, that's the first time that Stanford sliced the guy through on the zone. And when right here, he comes in, the zone reacts, but he turns and goes right to the basket. So good move. Now, have they discovered something? We'll see.
Austin Safarian-Jenkins with his third foul, and this is Powell going to the line. Powell, the sophomore, Pac-10 all-freshman team last year. He's been hampered by an ankle at the beginning of the year, but you can see he's a fine-looking player. Long, lanky, runs the floor extremely well, very aggressive. He'll match up on Ross on the perimeter now. Gaddy with 23 to shoot, trying to break down Chasen Randall. Nice pass in the corner. This is Ross missing from three. Nastich deflects it out of bounds, and it will be Husky basketball.
And that's something that the Huskies can't allow to happen. Right there, they're all looking at one another like what was called. And those are the kind of things you don't want to happen in a game. So right there, they got to get their act together because they got control of this game, and they need to take advantage of it.
And they're doing it with Ross 0 for 6. This is Roten driving into the lane and lays it home. And they are doing it because they are going to the body, and they are going to the rim.
Yeah, you know, they have no answer for the penetration. And right now, the Huskies are making hay on penetration.
Owens comes right back. There's the footwork Lenny Wilkins was talking about with a little jump hook of about 5 feet. Roten is on fire here early, 4 of 8, he has 10. Working very hard to get to the rim. Off the ball, a whistle. This will go against Washington.
Yeah, Njai got caught holding his position a little too long, and then he pushed the man off. So that, you know, he picks up a cheap foul on that, his first foul.
7th team foul with 3 minutes left here in this first half of play. Pull up a chair, plop down on the sofa, enjoy this one. Already today, Oregon at home defeating UCLA 75-68, making things interesting. In the Pac-12, Randall drives into the lane, drives, draws, kicks, and this is Eustace with the three-pointer.
Yeah, you don't want to give him those kind of open looks, but right here, oh, great move to the basket. Tough shot, but he had momentum going to the hoop, so maybe that'll get Ross going a little bit. I like that.
Snaps an 0 for 6 start for Ross. Randall the other way. 7-point lead. Stanford has had some opportunities here in the paint the last couple of trips down, and they've cashed in. Not this time. Owens is shut off by Njai, 19 to shoot. Bright will give it to him on the repost. And Njai reached in to get Owens. That's the second foul on Njai.
Yeah, Njai's got to just stay straight, play straight position defense, because Owens is so good. He's got the inside pivot, you know, he's got good footwork, but make him make a shot over you. Don't give him an easy opportunity by bailing him out by reaching for the ball.
So Austin Seferian-Jenkins will come back out, working with 3 fouls out there, and Njai will go to the bench. He picks up his second. Owens from Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire. The first one is up. That's short, and the recovery made by Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Each team with 18 fouls. 2:11 left in the first half. Gaddy directing the flow, taking charge, working on Bright. Little 2-man play to Simmons. Got in deep. Was bumped, missed the shot. Owens had it. Simmons digging. Owens pries it away. Here comes Stanford. Johnny Dawkins wants him to run. JD was a runner in his days at Duke. 9-year pro. This is Powell. Enters to Owens. Look at Seferian-Jenkins getting after it, but in the air was Owens to lay it home.
Yeah, you know, he just, when he's around that basket, if you give him a good look, the young man's going to score.
10 points, 5 boards for Owens. Here's Gaddy outside for 3, and he hit it.
Yeah. Gaddy he can have a huge impact on the game. I just feel like he needs to establish himself. He did that early on, but don't back away. Keep going after it.
First 3-pointer hit by the Huskies, who had missed in their previous 5, and a timeout with 1:11 left here in the first half, called by Johnny Dawkins in Stanford, with the Cardinal trailing here 31-23 on the road.
Well, they were packing it in, and if you take a look, you're going to get a chance to see why they're so open. Penetration by Ross, the kick out, and Gaddy's wide open. And if you let him catch the ball in his rhythm, 9 out of 10 times he's going to make it. So that's a nice look. And also give Gaddy credit for moving himself over to be in the passing lane.
Well, the Huskies, Romar, and staff made adjustments because, as you know, Lenny, they had to do something to get some life into this club from the beginning. Starts are so important to this game at any level of the game of basketball, and they simply had horribly flat starts. They were dispassionate in their last 2 games, particularly against Cal.
It really was, and you know, when you have good starts, you get the crowd into the game, and that's huge for players. So you're right, they made some huge adjustments. It's showing, it's paying off, and now defensively, I think they've taken Bright out of the game a little bit by staying in front of him.
Yeah, both he and Randall. Randall's tripped up and a foul called, and this will send Jason Randall to the free throw line. Good-looking freshman from Rock Island, Illinois. The foul is going to be on Terrence Ross, and that is his first.
Yeah, Ross doesn't have to reach, you know, because he's length. He's much taller than them. If he just plays position defense, make them have to make shots over him, I believe that he'll have a lot of success that way and not pick up cheap fouls.
Take a look at our Banner Bank building to the future. Tony Roten and Chasen Randall, 2 good-looking freshmen. Top 2 Pac-12 Freshman of the Year candidates. Randall from Rock Island, Illinois, which is a suburb just west of Chicago. So he's played in all those Metro leagues. Gatorade Player of the Year at Illinois a year ago, and the co-Mr. Basketball as well. That is a huge deal. Here's Ross for 3. That's off the heel of the iron. Great rebound by Simmons. That is terrific. And digging for it is Austin Seferian-Jenkins. I tell you, can't say enough about the front line of the Huskies. Those 3, Simmons, Njai, and Seferian-Jenkins. And Roten is fouled now, trying to get off the pass.
Yes, Seferian-Jenkins has come in, and he's proved that he can play. Okay, I just give me a few minutes, coach, and I'll help you. I'll get some rebounds for you. So you know, he understands his role perfectly. And now you got him, you got Simmons, you got Njai. You know, I mean, that really makes up for Wilcox being out.
And how about the cooperation between the coaching staffs? And this guy's going to be a sensational tight end at the next level. Austin Seferian-Jenkins had a terrific year this year for the football team, and it was understood between he and Steve Sarkisian that he was going to play some basketball if it worked for everyone involved. So a whole lot of cooperation going on there between the Husky football staff, basketball staff, and of course
Keith
Price. You got to run everything by the quarterback, don't you? You got to run this by the QB.
No question about it. But what's going to happen is that Safarian is going to have a lot of quickness. He's got good hands, and it's just going to enhance what he does on the football field.
Roten is 3 of 6 at the line. He has 11. The Huskies by 7. A half-minute left now in the first half. Aaron Bright 1 for 5. Chase and Randall 0 for 4. Husky guards have done a nice job defensively.
Yeah, right now, you want to stay. Gaddy's got to stay in front of him. Don't let him beat you. Stay in front. Make him have to use the screen. Keep your hands up so he can't get a shot over you.
7 to shoot. Owens the drop step off the front rim. Good hustle by Powell. Eustace has a wide open look at 3. Nope. Lost the rebound. Poked away right to Gaddy with 5, with 4. Roten with 2. Firing the 3. It is out of bounds. And it landed inbounds, and that puts triple zeros on the clock, ending the first half here in Seattle. Well, a well-played first half. The Washington Huskies playing with a great deal of passion this afternoon, leading by 7, 32-25. We'll be back to recap for you with more Pac-12 basketball coming your way here on Root Sports. Welcome back to Seattle, Washington. It is time now for a State Farm Get to a Better State recap. Stanford shooting 27%, Washington at 36. Free throws just about the same. Stanford 6 of 10, Washington 7 for 12. Three-point shooting 1 of 8, both clubs. Second chance points 15-4, Washington advantage. There's the difference. It's on the glass, Lenny, where Washington has out-rebounded Stanford 27-21. Points in the paint, decidedly Washington 26-14. It's been big.
I'll tell you, that's huge because everything else is pretty even. But boy, when you get to putbacks, okay, second chance points, every player on UW has a rebound. So that's huge.
Lenny Wilkens, Kevin Calabro in Seattle. Washington will open in man defense just as they did in the ballgame. Here's Chase and Randall trying to get going. Drives into the lane and lays it in between 2 defenders. So Chase and Randall, who averages 12 a game, scores his first field goal of the contest here as we are underway now in the second half.
It's really important for the Huskies to get off to a good start. You don't want to let the other team back in the game. Continue to play aggressive, play with intensity, and look for the opportunities.
This is Ross, who now has to make Randall work on the defensive end, and he draws the foul on Randall, who reached up and got him on the forearm.
Yeah, on that penetration by Randall, Simmons was there, but he goes for the ball rather than staying in front of him and making it a tough shot. So Randall makes a great play.
Randall with his first foul. Now Randall is 6'1", and Ross is at 6'6". So Johnny Dawkins probably wants his two guard to get going here early. He needs to get some scoring from Randall. Certainly needs to get some from Bright, who was 1 of 5 and just has 2 points. And then conversely, you got to make them work on the other end of the floor.
No question about it. And right there you saw where Ross came off the screen into the paint and got fouled. So he makes 2 free throws. Let's hope that he gets going this half.
Huskies by 7. Powell deep in the corner. Njai fronts the post, forcing Powell to drive on the defensive Simmons, and a foul called as Simmons may have reached in to get him.
Yeah, he did, you know, and that's the interesting thing. I mean, play position defense on the man. Make him have to make a shot over you, but by reaching, you gamble and you bail the guy out. Maybe he doesn't make the shot if you don't gamble, but you put this young man on the foul line, and he's been pretty good so far. You know, he can make free throws.
Powell got the start this afternoon, just his 3rd start of the year. From Toronto, averaging 4 points and 4 rebounds, had a sensational freshman year. This Stanford team was 15-16 a year ago. 42% of their minutes went to freshmen last year. Powell hits the free throw. So they've got some fine sophomores. Of course, they are led by Josh Owens, a senior, who was big in the first half for this Cardinal ball club. It's now pulled to within 5 on the road.
You see, that's what I'm talking about right here. You know, early on, Ross was there. Hold the position, make him give you the ball. But, you know, if they don't throw it in, he's willing to vacate his position, and then that allows something else to happen. So I just feel he's got to be a little bit more demonstrative about receiving the ball.
And Njai then off the ball, rams into Jared Mann. 3rd foul on Njai. Huskies now in the zone. Randall on the wing. Man looking to enter to Powell. Surprised that Stanford doesn't go right at Njai. Here's Randall running right-hander. This one gathered in by Roten. Gaddy along the end line. Nice scoop to Njai. Makes the catch at belt level and is fouled going into the air.
Well, that's nice penetration by Gaddy, and to find Njai right there. He had trouble handling the ball, but at least he got it. Right here, you see the good penetration. There's the pass. Got to expect the pass from Gaddy on penetration. And right there, he's going to get to the line for 2.
Aziz Njai to the line. They were really conserving his minutes in the first half. He was playing so well. He had the 5 rebounds. Austin Safarian-Jenkins came in and gave the Huskies a big boost as well. Safarian-Jenkins gave him some hard fouls, couple of rebounds, and played 9 minutes in that first half. Well, you can see after the break, there's a look at Austin Safarian-Jenkins. And boy, when he came into the game, the crowd just erupted. And they need that kind of burst now here, because you sense, Lenny, it's starting to quiet down in this building.
Right.
Njai misses 2 at the line.
And we got to get that enthusiasm back. So the Huskies got to pick up their intensity a little bit, come up with a big block or a steal or a missed shot, get down and score.
They bring Owens to the top, 1-on-1 on Njai. Will drive and kick. Powell gathers and lays it in with no resistance.
Well, you know, Simmons is running at him. You can't run at this guy. This young man can put the ball on the floor. You got to play position defense.
And the Cardinal back in this baby. Ross hits a 3. Couldn't have come at a better time, as it puts the Huskies on top by 6. And Ross with his first 3 after 5 misses. Nice pass to Owens in the lane for the lay-in. That was Mann with the assist.
Yeah, it really was, and that's because of poor transition to the defensive end.
And Roten the other way with a fine feed and a shove from behind. Aaron Bright.
Well, you're going to see Ross comes off. He comes off with authority. Right there, he catches the ball. He's got good rhythm. He follows through, and he makes the bucket. Right there, Stanford penetrates to the basket. Help comes and leaves the teammate wide open. So right now, the Huskies' transition defense has got to pick up. It's got to be a little bit better, and they got to start to make free throws. You can't get to the line. Those are opportunities that are missed.
And of course, Lorenzo Romar already down 1 wing player, and C.J. Wilcox now out for the 3rd consecutive game with a stress fracture of the left hip. He's got to conserve his big man up front, because he's got 2 fellows with 3 fouls, Njai and Austin Safarian-Jenkins. And 2 fouls to Darnell Gant, who steps back in the lineup. Njai missed the free throw. The ball deflected right into the hands of Owens. Njai at the line, 1 of 6, and the Huskies from the line, 9 of 18.
Yeah, that's their Achilles heel, and that's something that you don't want it to become a factor, because it certainly will hurt.
Owens giving to Mann, who ran by the ball, makes a catch. Powell misses the 3. Njai digging for the rebound, and the foul called on Owens.
I was surprised it took so long for the referee to call him. Owens had him by the arm the whole time he was under the basket, but good call. And right now, the Huskies need to come down and get something good.
Washington on top here by 4. Stanford's last lead was at 7-6 in the first 5 minutes of the game. Washington came out and played man-to-man defense, and it really seemed to ignite them, got them into this game. They were winning the 50-50 balls, throwing the body on the floor. Here's Ross now with it. Ross having difficulty shooting the ball in the first half, hitting that 3 a moment ago. 15 to shoot now. Roten has a little one on him. It's Randall outside to Gant, double clutches and misses. He didn't have a chance at that one. And the loose ball foul is going to be called on Stanford, and it's on the man that is on the floor. It's Jason Randall.
Well, they didn't even come to play Gant that time. They were going to make him take the outside shot. I think he should probably put it on the floor and hopefully try to draw Ross's man to him and then kick it.
Cardinal now with 5 team fouls. Huskies with 2. 16:44 to play here in the second half. Washington on top by 4. Ross off the Njai screen. This is Roten on Randall. Slithers between 2 defenders and converts at the rim. Tony Roten with a nice move.
I tell you, that's where he's so good, because getting to the basket, he can use either hand, he can switch hands with the ball, and he's got great body control.
Huskies by 6. Ross digs in on Randall. Owens rolls, he was open. Njai recovers. Bad pass to Owens, lost it out of bounds. Turnover to Stanford.
Great pressure defense caused that, but you take a look at Roten when he goes to the hoop right here. He sees it, he sets his man up, now he goes and he's going to split the 2 defensive players and use the glass to make the shot. I mean, he does it so well that he should be looking to get to the basket a lot more.
Well, they did it in the first half. They have 24 points in the paint, the Washington Huskies do. They made a concerted effort to get to the rim in the first half. And in the first 5 minutes of their first 6 possessions, 4 of them were attempts in the paint.
And it is something they can do. Right there, great pass by Gaddy. He came off penetration. They didn't settle for an outside shot. They went to the hoop. They've been capitalizing on penetration all game long, and they need to keep doing it.
Assist to Gaddy, his first. Here's Mann, drives and kicks. Aaron Bright trying to get it rolling, and he hits a 3. Aaron Bright coming off a 2-12 performance against Washington State. It's his first 3 of the afternoon. He has 5 points.
Well, that was caused by his teammates' penetration, so he had a real good look at the basket, was able to score, but I think the Huskies are doing a pretty good job covering him.
Safarian Jenkins on the post. Roten will drive to the action and will lay it up and in. Safarian Jenkins had Owens sealed down there. That allowed Roten to get to the cup. Here's Brown outside from Bright. Missing short. Ross the rebound. Roten is on the run. Clearing midcourt with men ahead. Under through Gant and a turnover. Stanford the other way. 2-on-1. Brown to Mann. Laid it in. Jared Mann with a nice finish.
Well, that's where Stanford's at their best, is that they can play an up-tempo game. So we can't give that to them. The Huskies can't give that to them. They got to take it away. They got to make sure their transition defense is good. But great pass. And you got to go up strong. You got to go up right away. But, he had to get... Gant had to gather himself on that one. If he could have gone straight up, he would have made it. But look at Roten right here. Boom, drives, splits, scores, makes it easy. Here again, same play, makes it look too easy.
Stanford Cardinal on loan from the football team to the basketball team, or maybe on loan to the football team from the basketball team, Lenny. Austin Safarian Jenkins coming at you, clearing the path.
Yeah, he brought a different dimension into the game, the hustle, the intensity. I mean, guy's got 5 rebounds. He's hardly played, and he's got 11 minutes in this game. So he's making his presence felt out there.
Our Emerald Queen Casino play of the game. Steve Sarkisian in attendance here this afternoon. Great house here, full house. And Sark looking on as the Huskies have a 5-point lead. Washington 7-6 last season. They're enjoying a trip to a bowl. Here is Bright. And a good play by Roten to step around Mann, but he stepped out of bounds with possession, and this will give it back to Stanford.
Now, I tell you, Mann tried to lock him, but Roten was just a little too quick on that, and he was able to get his hand on the ball. So, he can make his presence felt defensively, too, with his quickness.
John Gage in the lineup from Vashon Island, the sophomore. He and Aaron Bright, local products. Bright from Bellevue. Kick out pass to Eustace for 3 off the heel of the iron. Mann hustles down the rebound, but lost it right to Gaddy. Gaddy on the run, crosses over Bright, drifts to the rim, in and out. Gaddy after the rebound, rips it away, keeps it alive, and he's fouled on the reach-in by Anthony Brown.
Great hustle by Gaddy. You know, he really had his man set up, and his teammate almost got in the way of penetration. Right here, he sets him up. He's going to the basket. His teammate cuts in front of him, but he stays after the ball and gets a chance to get another rebound.
Third foul on Brown, 16th foul on the inbounds. Ross misses. Nice follow by Gant, who stays alert to the offensive glass.
That's what we talked about earlier. Let him just go after the ball. Play defense, rebound, and you're going to get some putback. So Gant did that very well.
Man the other way, puts it in play off the window, and there's Gant with another rebound. As he steps over Gage, held ball, and Washington will have possession of it. And so Gant wins him a possession there with his hustle. 7 points and 6 rebounds for Darnell Gant, the senior from LA out of Crenshaw High School.
This is a chance for the Huskies to take advantage of this. Right now, they got momentum going their way. They need to come down. Let's execute. Let's get as many putbacks as we can and see what happens out there. There, we got Ross on the ball.
Down deep, working on man, into the double. Gant is open and knocks down the three. And that wasn't an easy one because that pass was down around his shins.
Well, great hands to be able to pick that up.
Gant 4 of 7 from the field, his first three. A timeout called by Johnny Dawkins and Stanford as Washington has erupted here to take a 10-point lead with 7 minutes gone by in the second half from Seattle. Darnell Gant on the bounce back. Ross with the assist, and the Huskies by 10.
I'll tell you, and it's a good, smart timeout, because if you let stuff like this happen, all of a sudden you find yourself out of the game. Gaddy drives to the basket. You know, here, great pass, receives, gets it back, scores a three, and now here's a hustle play by Simmons. You know, that kind of intensity brings the crowd into the game. And look at the play by Roten down the middle. The Huskies right now got it going, and that's when they want to do is separate. So this game recap showed that we had some great plays made out there, but it's all going to the basket except for one outside shot.
That is our Northwest Buick GMC game recap. And now, Lenny, the crowd very much back into the issue, with the Huskies on top by 10. Randall put the ball off the shoe of Ross. Recovered by Stanford. Here is Jason Randall trying to get into the lane, and does. Jason Randall, long, wiry player out of Chicago, Illinois, with a bucket.
He made a great play on that because, you know, Austin came over to give good help. Look at the backdoor play right now. Great setup, great read by Roten and Ross.
They're good for that about twice a ball game, and that time it clicked. 9 points for Ross. Huskies by 10, 12:25 to play in the game. Entry pass denied, deflected, grabbed by Ross, who has the steal. This is Gaddy with it now. Gaddy crossing, driving, drawing, giving to Ross for three. Bingo! Terrence Ross on the assist from Gaddy.
Great setup by Gaddy. He takes his man, he gets the attention of the whole defensive team. Ross sitting on the top, wide open. Nice play.
Washington up 13. Randall drives the baseline. Gant shut him off. Loose ball gathered in by Austin Safarian-Jenkins. Now here comes Roten. Spots a drive into the lane, laid it up and in.
Great read by Roten. I mean, the defense was coming back. They were watching the wings. And right now, Johnny Dawkins has got to call a timeout. He's got to stop this momentum any way that he can.
15-point Husky lead on a 12-2 run, and a timeout with the crowd on their feet here at Alaska Airlines Arena.
You take a look right here. Good eye contact between Roten and Ross. Nice backdoor. Excellent pass. And then here, you take another look right there. He's able to catch that ball with two hands, control it, dunk it. So now they draw everybody inside. Gaddy makes a great pass out to Ross, and he gets a good look at the basket. So, and then Roten just, right, he's got the force spread. He's able to take it right to the hoop, lay it in. I tell you, he's good at that because he finishes so strong, lays it up off the board, makes it look easy.
And Washington just played a gritty first half. They controlled the glass. They
Number
scored
2,
in the
Aaron
paint. They did
Bryant
not
for
shoot
Stanford
well,
during the
36%.
timeout.
But more importantly, they held Stanford to 26% in the first half. And now Washington has picked up the defensive intensity, Lenny, and they're shooting much better than they did certainly in the first half.
Well, they really are, and they want to keep this intensity. You don't want to let them back in the game. You got to try and separate, push the game away. So right now, I tell you, Safarian, he is making his presence felt out there. The big guy is doing a good job.
How about 7 rebounds for the freshman from Gig Harbor? And the Huskies in the air, leading by 15. Well, the snow seems to be a memory here in Seattle. So much for that big storm that we had. Of course, knock on wood, there won't be another here in Seattle. It is sunny today and temperatures in the high 40s. Washington on top here by 15. Take a look at the standings now. California, of course, left Seattle with a win on Thursday on to Washington State and playing in Pullman. Oregon wins today over UCLA in convincing fashion in the last couple of minutes of play. They secure the victory down there at Matt Knight Arena. Stanford came into this afternoon's play at 5-2. Arizona stands 4-2. Colorado is 4-2. And Washington 4-2 as UCLA now drops to 3-4 in conference play. Cal right now on top by Washington State by 2. 6 minutes left in the second half in Pullman. Of course, Washington State got Stanford on Thursday. Washington State down 11 with 13 minutes to go. Shoots 72% in the second half against the Cardinal to come back and win. Here's Ross for 3. Rebound, Gant right back up and in. Darnell Gant has come back with a vengeance after a very disappointing game on Thursday. Here is Brown for 3 missing. Safarian Jenkins deflects the rebound to Roten. Safarian Jenkins, by the way, with 7 rebounds and getting back to Gant, Lenny. 12.7 boards for the senior. He's hit 5 of 8 from the field and 1 of 1 from 3.
Well, he's showing patience. He's playing within himself. He's not trying to do things he can't do. Stay with the defense. And right there, you saw a great move by Roten. If any time they give him that kind of seam and his strong left hand, he has an opportunity to score.
Washington building on their lead now at 19. And Safarian Jenkins fouls Owens on the inbounds. Well, before the game, we talked about the emotional toll that Thursday's losses would take on both of these ball clubs. Who would bounce back? Who would respond? And clearly, Lorenzo Romar's ball club here, aided by man defense to start the game. This guy, Austin Safarian Jenkins, coming into the game and giving him a huge boost. Plus, discipline on the offensive end, going to the glass early and maintaining that, and they've been the team that's bounced back.
Yeah, we talked about that, Kevin, and you're right. They have to go to the hoop. They can get to the hoop, and when they do that, they become a different team. Look at here. Great move, good pass right there.
How about the pickup, Lenny?
Oh, it showed good hands. So right now, the Huskies are playing the way they should. And I thought that Coach Romar made great adjustments. He got their attention, and they paid attention, and it's paying off. Right here, look at that. He's at his left there. He's got a chance to go to the hoop. Everybody's kind of packing it in now.
The 2 freshmen one-on-one outside of Gant. And deflected out of bounds by Stefan Nestic of Stanford, and Washington will retain possession with 9:43 left in this one.
Well, we talk about the Huskies having a chance to put the game away, and right now I think they're playing smart, and that's what they got to do. They got to push this away and get Stanford totally out of the game.
Roten, Ross, and Gant have combined for 43 points. They've outscored the Cardinals. Ross into the lane. Look at that cut between defenders to lay it in.
You see, he was smart then. What happened was they switched. He had a big guy on him. He knew he couldn't cover him. He opened the court up, and then he was able to take it to the basket. So right there, good play.
19-2 run. Brown into the lane. He is fouled, and Anthony Brown will head to the line.
You take a look at that last Ross bucket. I mean, right here, he sets him up. He's got the big guy. There's no way he can stay with his quickness. Lays it right in. That, to me, now that's playing smart basketball.
Well, Cal and Johnny Dawkins came into this game 5-2 in Pac-12 play. They are 4-0 at home, 15-4 on the year, 11-1 at home. They've had some notable losses. Here's Roten now checking out. Roten's going to get a rest. He has played magnificent ball. 19 points for Roten. terrific floor game, 8 of 13 from the field, and they put a big in, Desmond Simmons.
Well, it's a good move by Coach Romar. Give him a chance to get some rest. Gaddy now has got to run the show. Get the ball up quick. Look at that.
Oh, everything's going in now.
Yeah. Hey, when they're playing up-tempo, they're a different team.
Washington for the game now shooting 48% on 25 of 52. They were at 36% in the first half. Nastic, the drop step and the hook. It's up and in.
Not bad for the big guy. I mean, he turned around and made a nice shot out of it. But here again, here we come. Can't turn it over. Can't turn it over. But get back on defense, okay? You made a mistake. Get back.
Again, outstanding play to backpedal down the floor. Set his feet, but not in time in the estimation of the official, and this will go against Gann.
Look at the transition game right there. Get the ball up the court quick. Big guys are running. Easy opportunity, and Njai puts it away. I mean, that's just a nice heads-up play by Gaddy.
This Stanford team has lost to Syracuse, ranked #1 in the country. They lost the NIT tournament in New York, a home game in essence for Syracuse by 6. They lost to a good Butler team at Palo Alto, lost at Oregon, and of course at Washington State University. Johnny Dawkins, now his 4th year at Duke, is the head basketball coach. Here's Randall at the line. A young Stanford team will have a few days, 7 days, to work and adjust and get ready for Cal. That's their next outing on the 29th at Cal. 8:32 left in this one. Washington on top, 63-45. Washington next week will travel to the Arizona schools. Here's Ross triggering. Brown with a rebound. Nastic in deep. Turns and drew Njai off his feet with that subtle little shoulder fake.
Yeah, that's a nice little move there. But, you know, talking about Johnny Dawkins right here.
JD.
Yeah.
My man.
I never played against him, but, you know, we did go to a trip to the Philippines one time. A memorable trip because they had a coup going on, and we were all stuck there. But Johnny's a great guy, and, you know, he's a student of the game. He demands that his players give everything they can, and you know he's a good coach. I like him, and you know as an NBA player, he was pretty good.
Who knew about that coup, Lenny?
Not too many people knew about it, except everybody here in the States, because we were stuck there for a few days. You know, we had some players over there, and we weren't able to play the games because the coup was they were trying to get Aquino out of office, so everybody was a little bit nervous, but things worked out and we got home okay.
And of course you and your affiliation, head basketball coach of the Olympic team years ago, and Johnny Dawkins, his affiliation. He was the player personnel director for the Olympic team that won in Beijing in 2008.
Right.
Johnny, of course, 11 years on the staff at Duke with Mike Krzyzewski as his assistant coach. Safarian Jenkins, look at the nice pass as he is leaning to his left, right there to Roten for the land. Safarian Jenkins is a player.
He's had an impact on this game. You gotta love it. You know, the fans love him, and certainly, you know, that play down there was very nice. So Safarian Jenkins has had an impact on this game.
7:33 left. It's all about finishing as the Huskies lead 65-46. Welcome in, along with Lenny Wilkins, Kevin Calabro on hand. The sidewalks are empty. Everybody is in this building. Anybody that's on campus is in this building at Alaska Airlines Arena here in Seattle, Washington, as the Huskies lead the Cardinals 65-46, 7.5 minutes remaining in this one. And it seems like Washington has taken Stanford's will away.
They really have, and that's what you want to do. You know, you never want to beat a team by 50 points or anything like that, but what you want to do is put them out of the game. You don't want them to think that they have a chance to get back in this game, and the Huskies are doing this very well. Terrence Ross, I think he's coming alive. You know, he's starting to do some things out there. He's looking for his shot a little bit more aggressively.
Jason Randall at the free throw line, chasing 18 points against Colorado, hit 24 and hit some big shots in the 4 overtime win on the road in Corvallis against Oregon State. He had been hot coming in here, averaging 17 a game over the last 4. Ross goes down with Nastic, incidental contact. They'll get up and head the other way. Incidental only if it's not you involved in falling down on the floor. And the Huskies now will bring it the other way. Washington they have really neutralized Randall, and they did from the beginning. And Ross has done a nice job on Randall here in the second half to keep him at bay. Roten has it stripped and deflected out of bounds. 7:11 to play in the game. Coming up later, San Diego and Gonzaga. That one coming up immediately after our broadcast here. A whole bunch of college basketball, followed by Kevin O'Neill's Trojans taking on Greg Robinson's Oregon State Beavers. Washington throws it away on the inbounds. His man the other way to lay it in, and he is fouled. Safarian Jenkins bumped him. And that is the 5th on Safarian Jenkins.
Yeah, it's his 5th foul, but the thing is I think he just touched him. He didn't really, he was just trying to guide it. Right here, he doesn't really push the man. So that's kind of a cheap foul. But when you're in the heat of action, it looks like it was something. So I think that not a very good call.
Well, he fouls out after collecting 7 rebounds, giving Aziz Ndiaye a breather, coming in for him a couple of times in the first half. And frankly, he really got the crowd perked up the moment he stripped off that warm-up and that number 35 was revealed, and they knew it was him coming on the floor. Man badly misses a free throw there.
Yeah, and right now the Huskies have got to be careful because Stanford's going to stay up, try to press, try to double team. They're going to try and get them to turn the ball over or take a quick shot. So right here, everybody has to be alert.
Washington up 17 with 7:04 remaining. And the deflection out of bounds will give it back to Washington. They'll come to trap Gaddy. Roten comes to the ball, collects it. Roten across midcourt. Simmons sets a big-time screen. Roten to the rim, and a foul. They'll call the charge on Tony Roten.
Well, you get a little impulsive, but I think that he should have dropped that pass off. I mean, watch the screen. I mean, this is a screen that will wake you up if you're asleep. Right here, you're going to see it. Foul, Right now, I think he should make a pass, really. I mean, I think that you got the momentum. Drop it off right there. Your teammate is there. Give him an easy opportunity. But, in the anxiousness to score, Roten goes to the basket, and they call an offensive foul.
6:58 remaining in this one, and the Huskies leading 65-48. Simmons has played a terrific game this afternoon. The numbers are not gaudy by any stretch of the imagination, but he has won some 50-50 balls. He's been very good in the interior, and he takes a charge right there to get the ball back. That's big-time play there as he gives up the body on the screen and then gets it back by creating position in there, Lenny.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. Right there, he's there. He doesn't reach for the ball. He just stays tall and takes the charge. And that's a big play right now because you don't want to give Stanford any kind of momentum in the game. So that was huge. Coach Romar is going to take a little bit of a timeout and try and, all right, guys, here's the time when we need to put this game away. Let's be patient with what we do.
After, or actually before the game, here's California score 74-74. Washington State and Cal tied 74 all in the second half with under a minute remaining in that game. When asked to explain Washington State's win over Stanford the other night, Ken Bone said, well, snow, small crowd, 1-4, that can all play a part. All play a part.
Well, it can, and you take any kind of win you can get, especially at that point in time. So Washington State, they got some pretty good players, and you better come in there ready, because if not, then they will surprise you.
Well, that has been the case in the Pac-12 this year, Lenny. I was looking at a stat earlier tonight. 9-24 visitors on the road in the Pac-12 this year. Washington breaks pressure easily this time.
Now they had a chance to read it, and the thing is pass the ball. You know that they're going to trap. They're going to stay up looking for that first pass. So you got to kind of skip past the ball, which they did, and then look to get it up court.
Gaddy comes to the top. Wright is on him. 11 to shoot.
Okay, here's Ross. Get to the inside. Okay.
Challenges Owens and lays it in. Beautiful play.
Ain't that hard.
Every time. Every time.
Every time.
16 for Ross. 6 of 16 from the field. Bright outside. He has had a tough time getting it going. Gaddy's done a nice job on Aaron Bright this afternoon. Aaron's just 2 for 7, has 5 points.
Yeah, he's staying in front of him. He's making it hard for him to get anything. And then when he drives, he's staying there. And now he's getting inside and big people are there. So really the only way is if you reach and bail him out, then he'll get to the foul line.
Aaron, a 4-year letterman at Bellevue High School. And of course plays against these Huskies in the summertime. He's been on the Friends of Hoop AAU team, coached so beautifully over many, many years by Jim Marsh. He's a regular here in the audience watching the games. Here's Gaddy now the inbounds. Double. Releases to Simmons at midcourt. Here's Roten. There's that one. Lenny. Heaters listed to Lenny Wilkins. Sets up Gant for the jam.
I'm telling you, make it easy because, you know, it's there. And that makes you a better player, I think. I mean, you know, you take a look at that. What the Huskies did, they knew they were trapping. They were up. You skip past, get the ball up court. Now it's a 2-on-1. Make them pay. All right, I love that. I love that.
And again, the trap creates an opportunity for the Huskies. Roten had a 3-on-2, but wisely will back it out. Now they need to manage the clock with 5:46 left. Leading by 19. Yeah, work it deep in the shot clock, then let it fly.
Huh? Yeah. I mean, you know, you got plenty of time. You got to read the defense.
Or maybe not.
Well, that time he didn't really look through the court.
Powell with a follow on a bad pass that went off the glass.
Get it up court. Get it up court. I didn't like that pass. I mean, you know, hey, do what you've done the last 2-3 times. Come on. You know they're up pressing. They're trapping. Okay. Kick it here, swing it to the wing, and get some easy opportunities. And coach is going to let him know it. I mean, he's going to say, hey, wait a minute, what are we doing? We just scored 2-3 times. Let's not get, you know, lackadaisical out there.
Yeah, you had 4 assistant coaches pointing at their foreheads. Use your heads here, fellas. 15-point lead, 5:07 left. We're coming right back after this. Washington trying to finish here at home, holding a 15-point lead with 5:07 left in the second half of play. Along with Lenny Wilkins, Kevin Calabro on hand. Johnny Dawkins has moved everybody forward again. They continue to press full court, and they have forced a couple of turnovers and have scored, Lenny, 2 unanswered buckets. And Washington nearly coughed it up again, jabbed out of bounds by Jared Mann of Stanford.
You know, the pressure defense staying up like that certainly makes a difference at times, but then you lose one of your top players. You know, Powell is not in the game now. You know, maybe he's not part of the pressing team. So you lose some offense by not having him out there. So, you know, it's a do it, you do it, or you don't.
And Owens is out as well. Nice pass to Simmons to the cup for the jam. Gaddy beneath the rim through a double team. Throws a dime.
Gaddy is so sound, you know, basketball-wise. I mean, he sees things, he reads things. I just think that I like the way he's playing now. I think he has to continue that aggressiveness. Hey, he can run the show. He makes good decisions.
17-point lead for Washington, 4:24 remaining. Mann kicks to Randall to the baseline. Deflected by Simmons and controlled by Ross.
Okay, now they're going to use a little bit of time. Good execution. Stanford still has to come out and pressure the ball a little bit. So all the Husky has to do is make good decisions, utilize the time a little bit.
19 to shoot.
Come on, that's when you got to give it to Ross. Give it to him. Yeah, I mean,
nice
hey,
pass.
how hard is that?
Lead him to the baseline. Back come the Cardinal. Here is Bright. Oh, two-handed follow by Eustace way up top. Josh Eustace with the two-handed tip jam. 15-point lead now for Washington. 3:37 to go. Gaddy up the floor again, holding. They work it to 24 on the shot clock.
Well, they're going to use the clock every time down the floor if they get into a half-court situation. So they want to use the time up, which is smart, but good execution. Now, good screen and roll. He's going to be able to get to the basket. Rotate so that you find somebody open.
Roten goes hard, pounds in the gauge, and a foul's on Tony Roten, and this will give it back to Stanford. Fourth foul on Tony Roten with 3:09 remaining here in the game, and Washington on top by 15. That's Darnell Gant. We know he can get on the trampoline. So can Simmons. Thank you. Here's Bright outside, firing for three, and he hit it. 2:59 left, and the Cardinals have methodically worked it now to 12. Now Washington's got to be careful here now.
Washington wants to use some clock, because I thought they had an opportunity once they passed the ball over the top of the press to be able to attack, have a 3-on-2. But this is all right. This is good. Good execution will get you opportunities going to the basket. I thought he should be at the line.
Well, again, he got hammered going to the rim and no whistle, and it's out of bounds. Washington will control with 12 to shoot. After this game, San Diego and Gonzaga. And then, of course, later, more Pac-12 basketball coming your way with USC and Oregon State going at it. Washington State has won this afternoon at home in Pullman. They have beaten Cal on a three-pointer by Devontae Lacey out of Tacoma, Washington. Here's a three by Darnell Gant from Los Angeles, California. 17 points for Darnell. 7 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 7 rebounds, and a tremendous bounce back effort after a disappointing showing for himself and the team on Thursday. That's the way winners bounce back.
You know, Gant, he's been patient. He's been doing all the other things that you do to help your team win. And then when the ball comes to you in situations like it did last time and you're wide open, fine, the clock is running down, you got a nice rhythm, take your shot. So I give him a lot of credit, because he didn't force the issue. He played within himself.
How about that stat? 9 and 27 visiting teams in Pac-12 play. UCLA goes into Eugene today. They had a sizable lead in the first half, double-digit lead. Of course, it's hard to win at Matthew Knight Arena. Cal did it. Cal, of course, won here, but then they lose in Pullman, where it's difficult to buy a win as well, apparently.
Well, you can't take any team for granted. You're on their home court. And as we talked about, Washington State is a pretty good team. Come on, they've got some good players there. So,
there's Simmons again. Look at this kid. I just can't speak highly enough of his play today, Lenny, as he dives in front of an entry pass.
Well, this guy, and that's why Coach Romar loves him, because he gives you the all-out effort. He's hustling. He dives on the floor for ball. He blocks out. He plays a total game as well. And I think that's a huge advantage for the Huskies.
15-point Washington lead, 1:55 left. Here's Bright, a deep three. Roten with a rebound. Tony will secure it. So Stanford's got 8 days before they meet Cal at Cal. Washington goes back to work next week. They travel first to Tempe to take on Arizona State, and then a Saturday game against an Arizona team. It's a tough customer at home as well.
Well, this is a big win for the Huskies. I think that they had to come out. They had to be aggressive right from the start. And you look at the Pac-12 conference and you see those teams all bunched up. You lose another game, you get down toward the bottom. So the huge win.
Randall comes the other way, chasing Randall. And Ross with steady defense on Randall here in the second half. Ross 16, Gant 17, 21 for Tony Roten. The outing from Safarian Jenkins memorable. How about the 7 rebounds and 5 hard fouls? Well, 4 hard fouls and 1 that was a mystery. Here's Owens with the putback. As Francis Williams told us a moment ago, Owens has been quiet here in the second half until that bucket. And a timeout now called by Stanford with 1:32 left in the ball game, and Washington on top by 13. So take a look at the board here, Lenny. It's anybody's game right now.
It really is, and I love that. I mean, that shows you competitive basketball. Oregon is right up there, 6-2. California 6-2, and the Huskies, by winning, they're going to be 5-2. So they don't fall back. They take a step up, and it's all bunched up. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out in another couple of weeks.
And this is a Stanford team that hammered Colorado, beat them by 20. And also, of course, survived on the road in Corvallis to beat Oregon State in 4 overtimes. And now with a tough one coming up next week against the Cal Bears. You've got to win on the road, I think, in order to secure the regular season championship, and Oregon has done that. Oregon has put 3 on the board on the road this year, the Oregon Ducks have, and Stanford will play them this year as well, coming up on the 19th of February. They'll get them at their place in Palo Alto. That'll be an interesting game, and of course they've got to go on the road to the Oregons as well. Stanford will not make a trip to the desert to play Arizona State, and of course Washington doesn't get a chance to get back at Cal. They won't be going to Northern California. They don't play Stanford or Cal in the realignment, the addition of Utah and Colorado.
Well, the Huskies can't worry about that. That game's gone. What they have to do is focus from here on out. And Stanford's not that bad a team. The Huskies did not let them get going tonight. The Huskies, I thought, they came out with an aggressive mindset from the beginning of the game. They showed the intensity. They moved the ball. And Kevin, early on, they went to the basket. You know, they were scoring because they were getting fouled inside. Great penetration. That made the difference in this game.
Ross will bring it out of backcourt with 1:25 left here in the ballgame. Gaddy will take over. Checked by Bright. Here's Ross now with a driving lane. He'll wisely back it out with 11 to shoot. Huskies on top by 13. Washington really shot the lights out in the second half after shooting 36% in the first half, but they held Stanford at 26% shooting in the first half. And defense was the key. Defense and winning the 50-50 balls, laying some skin on the deck and being physical in the first 5-10 minutes of that first half. They really set a nice tone. As Aaron Bright whirls in, and he gets a bucket with 47 seconds left, and the Huskies on top here by 11.
Well, you know, I tell you, Kevin, Safarian Jenkins, you know, he came in and made a difference. You know, he came off the bench and was a little bit physical with people, let them know that he was going to put a body on guys. He helped set a tone.
We'll come right back and see how this goes in the remaining 47 seconds. Welcome back to Seattle, Washington, along with Lenny Wilkens, Kevin Calabro on hand. 74-63 Huskies leading the Cardinal. 47 seconds remaining in this one. Washington trying to close in on their 12th victory of the year. That would put them to 5-2 in conference. Stanford, though, is having none of that. They are pressuring full court, and they get a turnover. Reaching in was Powell to flick it off of Ross and out of bounds. Stanford will get it.
Well, I think the Huskies were trying something. They were experimenting that time. It looked like they were going to look for a lob.
Here's a pass cross court. Randall, a look at 3 off the mark. Rebound to Powell. Outside to Bright. He'll reload. Now he'll drive. Pump it up. No. Rebound grabbed by Ross. Ross will hold. He's fouled, and Terrence Ross now will go to the free throw line. With 36 seconds remaining in this one, 74-63 the score. Well, Ross has had difficulty getting it going in the first half of the last 2 games. Wins against Washington State and against, or I should say, a win against Washington State and a loss against Cal. Here tonight, I can't say that he got off to a good shooting start, but defensively, he was in the game, he was present, he was doing the little things that win you ball games. Doesn't always have to come down to scoring for him. He's 6'6", he can defend, he's quick.
He can do a lot of things out there to make his presence felt, and you know, I think that this will be a good scouting tape for the Huskies, because what they need to do is go and look at this. You'll see there were times when Ross demanded the ball on a low block, got it, and was able to make something happen. So this is a good teaching. It'll be a good teaching video for them to look at.
Ross is a 72% free throw shooter for this Washington team. And Lorenzo's talked about it time and time again. Their quest to improve from the line. They're 62% as a team. Tony Roten gets to the line abundantly, and he shoots 55%. While Ross is a good free throw shooter, he doesn't get to the line much. He's under 3 attempts per ball game, but he hits that first one.
It always works that way, but I'll tell you this. Roten is going to improve because he does not have a bad stroke, but he needs to focus. He needs to consistently do the same thing when he shoots his free throw.
Well, Ross missed that second free throw. That opens the door a little bit to Stanford here. Gaddy runs down the loose ball, however, and that might do it. 13 seconds left, and Johnny Dawkins will call off the Cardinals. The Huskies win this one 76-63. And do it in fine fashion, Lenny. This was a blue-collar effort by this Husky ball club.
It really was, and this is the formula, okay? Coaches want to tell them, here's the formula, guys. This is what we got to do to be successful. Come out this way every game.